And we are live. Welcome back to In the House with Night Owl Movie Talk and my co-host, the Horror Cat Dad. Other way. I'm always going the wrong way. There he is. This way. This way. This way. Hey, how you doing, Larry? How are you, Larry, my friend?
Good, brother. How you doing, man? Been
Good.
a heck of a week on my end. Gonna get worse
Uh,
next week.
oh no, you got a busy time at work or something? Or oh boy, those bastards. Do you want me to rough somebody up for you? I'll show up there.
Well, it's just people are gonna be out, so we're gonna be like shorthanded, and yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to do some night work too. So
Well, I'm no stranger to that. That's the way to go, man. You work best in the dark.
hmm
So,
What about
otherwise,
you?
you hanging in there? Everything good? You good
Yeah.
with life? Yeah, yeah, me as well. Summer finally hit. Most of our streams are me complaining about how freezing cold it is, and now now it's 90. It's the opposite way. It's what
Wow.
the hell? Yeah. Um, but it's a good excuse to stay in the air conditioning and watch movies and stuff. You been watching anything new lately?
Yeah. After y'all's the boneyard when y'all did Laid to Rest.
Hmm.
I was so like interested, and I was like, why haven't I? I've seen the name, I had just never seen it. I was like, okay, I got to check it out. So I finally saw it, and I was like, wow, this is like Terrifier before Terrifier,
Yeah.
basically. But I rather enjoyed this one. I mean, I've only seen Terrifier 2, so
Okay.
but I actually rather enjoyed it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, laid to rest. It was extremely gory and like over the top. You could tell they were trying to push the buttons.
hmm
Um, when we watched Laid to Rest 2, Chrome Skull, I quick researched to see how many Saw movies were out before that came out because it felt like Saw, especially Part 2 feels a lot like Saw.
hmm
And I think they were on like Part 6 of Saw by the time that one came
hmm
out. So I was like, there you go. They went to the studio and said we can make a Saw type movie and for way less.
I'm
But
just I'm just surprised that guy never like he got shot. I guess he was just doing tranquilizers the whole time, because he kept injecting himself. He got his eye gouged out with that metal rod thing, and it was like
mhm.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I was trying to figure out like his motivation or what was like driving him and stuff like that, but he was just some crazy dude. Um,
Yeah, in part two, they try to get into it more and explain a little bit better, but it felt like they were building for a part three that's never come. At one point, they were supposed to make part three in like 2017 or 18, but they never did. So I'm assuming the pandemic hit after that, and they just, whatever. Maybe not popular enough to get a sequel, but perhaps all this press we're giving it, they will. Yeah, I
make it
recommend checking
happen.
out. If you liked part one, I recommend checking out part two.
Okay.
Um, it's good stuff. It's
I
I'm
do agree with you what you said in the live stream though with that the fix a flat kill. That was
yeah,
that was
that one. I get a little upset with horror movies when they have like bad kills or kills that seem impossible. So if you're
hmm
gonna go impossible kill for me, make it memorable, make it some
hmm
cartoon stuff, and that's what that one was. It's like I can't believe that just happened. It was kind of awesome.
And it was funny when that guy popped up. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Roach from friggin' People Under the Stairs."
Yeah, yeah. And I also dug the for those of you who haven't seen Laid to Rest, it's a slasher movie slash or combo, murder mystery type deal. Not really like a stalker film, but the killer wears a chrome skull over his face mask, and then he keeps a hand mounted digi camera on his shoulder. So he looks almost sci-fi, but it's almost like the old school movie Peeping Tom about the director that kills people. So it's a crazy movie. I recommend checking it out.
I was
I see we're
surprised.
getting. Oh, sorry, go
Okay,
ahead.
good. No,
Oh,
I was surprised by the people that were in it. We had like
yeah.
Sarah Connor. You had and I know the guy that was the husband, the bald guy. I know he's in other stuff too. But I was surprised he was in it. Like I said, the guy Roach. I was surprised he was in it. And even what's his name? The guy that always came out as a bad guy, and he was in a Puppet Master 3 as the villain, as the main bad guy. Looks
Jonathan
like a
Chet, was that him?
is that it? Is that
I
him?
don't know.
The
He was
off-brand
either.
Rutger Hauer?
Yeah, kind of. Uh, Yeah, when you called her Sarah Connor, I was thrown off. That's also Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones, and that's like her
Yeah.
big role. So that's what I was like. Oh, the Game of Thrones lady is in this, and those
Yeah.
having decent, money people I recognized helped make it more enjoyable for me. It didn't feel cheap. So,
Yeah.
our friend Sean is here. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you.
Hey, Sean.
Cinephile Sanity TV. Always cool to see Sean, him, and Juno and Hardcore Texas Russell over there. They always put out an awesome show. It's nice to have you guys here. And Demonia is here. Welcome, Lemonia. How you doing, boo? So look at me. We got our own little cat and owl. That's nice.
Wait, look,
She couldn't
it almost looks like they're like the cat is like kissing the owl on the cheek, though.
It's
kind of weird.
Oh, can you feel the love tonight? I really couldn't get into laid to rest movies like what we watched this past Thursday. Well, yeah, Lemonia was part of the watch along for Laid to Rest and Laid to Rest 2. But this past week, Mr. Bones on his channel, the Horror Peep Show on the Boneyard, we watched The Hills Run Red, which I have never seen before. I'd never even heard of. And I was shocked by it as well. It way more high budget than a movie I've never heard of. It was made by, I believe, Warner Brothers. But it's got like a pretty decent cast. Like I recognized a lot of the people in it, but it was like, it's called The Hills Run Red, and it's gory. William Sadler, if you know who that is, he's the bad guy in Die Hard 2, and he's the Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and stuff, or Death in Bill and Ted's Evil Journey, whatever, Bogus Journey. He plays a director, and this guy goes looking for this missing director, and when he tracks him down, he kind of gets wrapped up in this whole mystery murder thing, and a killer slasher shows up, and it's incredibly also very gory and violent, but it's a fun movie. If you like slashers, and if you like The Wrong Turn, Hills Have Eyes, that type of thing, it goes really gory and gruesome. But yeah, I agree, Lemonia. The Hills Run Red is a fun one. So,
but y'all were saying it was hard to find, though, right? Like,
yeah, I thought it would be on Tubi or something, but we tried to find it on that Look movie site, and they had it on there, and then when we went to watch it, they had already pulled it. And Lemonia found it on some weirdo site that had like Russian porn links on the side of it and stuff. So she was kind of freaked out, but she said the movie played great and fine. We eventually found it on one of those off-brand, whatever one wouldn't set off my virus detector is what we used. So, yeah, but I recommend keeping an eye out for it. If you see it on one of your streaming services that you have, Shudder or Tubi or something or whatever, keep an eye out for it. But yeah, it's nudity, heroin use, killers in the woods, lots of screaming and terror and gore. Just a grown-up movie, but fun.
Right up Mikey's alley there.
Oh, it's totally a Mikey's Morgue. I should check to see if Mikey's Morgue has already put out an advertisement for it or done a video about it. It's up his alley, or is it down his alley? Whatever. Give us a kiss. You get one too, boo. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. Friday night into house. Nice. Eric, welcome, buddy. We actually, when tonight's show started, I said I don't know how much that we have to talk about, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that Eric's here to give us good questions because he keeps the chat jumping. So we're glad to see you, Eric. Lemonia says, I went on a very naughty site, Larry.
We've all been to those. It's okay.
I haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that means. Ooh, woo. Indeed. Ooh, woo. Lyric's laughing. All my favorite things: drug use, blood, nudity, all of that. Yeah, that's what Lemonia is all about.
Russian porn links.
Pushing the virus scan to its limits, living on the edge, baby. That's how we do. Ooh, woo, ana, ana. Ha! See, look at these guys cracking up. We're already doing well. Never mind. This episode's off to a great success.
Nice.
Did you watch anything else this week or rewatch anything new? I know you've been busy with work, man.
Yeah. trying to think. And I know I did rewatch some stuff. Oh, actually, I started watching season 2 of this Amazon show called Outer Range. Have you heard of that show? It's got Josh
They
Brolin in it.
they advertise it to me all the time, but I've never watched it. Is it good?
It's good, man. It's like I saw the first season, and it's been a while since the first season came out, and then my wife was like, "Hey, season 2 came out." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, I didn't even think they were gonna make a season 2," and it's like it's really interesting. It's a sci-fi type show, but it's
Okay.
happening like you know out in the country. So like Josh Brolin, he like owns a ranch, and like all of a sudden this big black hole opens up in the field, and it's like he can't explain it, and it's like a lot of weird stuff starts happening. I don't want to give too much away because it's like I would
Yeah,
definitely suggest watching it. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it
It
sounds
almost
kind of
has like
Twilight Zone or something. Like
what?
sounds kind of Twilight Zone or something, like a mystery slash sci-fi slash, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, something like that. It's just interesting how because you don't know what's going on, and then like people disappear, and then people just show up, and then it's just like. But season 2, it's gotten a little bit more. They kind of tell you what's going on, and it's weird how it's all intertwined. It's really cool. So
Oh,
far, it's
good
pretty good.
deal. I'll add it to my queue. Yeah, the next time I spend a day watching those shows, I'll crank out the Outer Range. Mr. Bones says we watched Outer Range and then moved to American Rust. It reminds me of Fargo. Recommend Larry. The
Cool.
Fargo the TV show or Fargo the movie. Um, Jamie Hart is here. Nice to see you, Jamie Hart. Outer Range reminds me of Yellowstone with sci-fi shit. Interesting. So yeah, I haven't watched Yellowstone, but I know enough about it where I kind of get the vibes. So that's cool. They mixed a Western and sci-fi. That's always a nice combo mix up. Folks are here saying hello to each other. I always like that. When everybody friendly in the chat. So we are glad to have you all here tonight with us on a Friday. As we often say, everybody's working for the weekend.
Yes, finally. I was like, finally, it's the weekend, man. Hopefully, this weekend. Hopefully, I'm hoping to go see Furiosa tomorrow.
Oh, good deal. Yeah, I've been
Finally.
hearing still people keep telling me it's good. I kind of feel like it's not. Like when I think about it, my emotional feelings like, oh, it's a flop. But everybody keep like, no, you'll like it. So I'll give it a watch. That's what happened last time with Fury Road, and I loved it. So
Yeah, it's just like it's yeah. I mean, I've been wanting to see it since it came out, but it's just like there's just been so much going on, and just haven't been able to watch it. So
yeah.
finally tomorrow, hopefully.
Hunter Armstrong, welcome, Hunter. I always dig that avatar. He says finally watched Zardoz all the way through this week. You ever seen Zardoz before, Larry?
Never heard of it.
It's a like a futuristic. It's like almost a Dune or a Flash Gordon type ripoff, and it stars Sean Connery. And he's like, it's early 80s, so he's got the mustache, but he's balding. It's around maybe a couple, it might be late 70s, early 80s, whatever. But he's famous for wearing like kind of this red codpiece
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
see clips of it sometimes. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like super hairy.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's very,
I
very
haven't seen I
furry.
haven't seen it, but I know remember the red crossover stripe thing, and then the long
Yeah.
hair, like the super dark black hair. No, there's that one movie from the '80s that I want to see, where it's like truckers in space or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got
Space
him
Truckers.
in Space Truckers.
Space
No,
Truckers is a movie.
isn't
Yeah.
who's in that one?
I don't know. I just know the name because I always thought, well, that's a weird name for a movie, Space Truckers. I think I've seen it, but it was one of them cable ones.
No, I want to see that. What do you call it? I remember that. I think it's called Outlander.
Oh
Outland.
yeah, that's a Sean Connery.
Hmm.
It's a kind of Blade
Peter
Runner.
Boyle.
Well, basically he's a constable on a space or a space station, or is it a spaceship?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a space station. But yeah, it's a little bit of a murder mystery. It kind of reminds me of Alien Nation, except they don't have aliens, but
Okay.
it's like that type of deal. It's a mystery mixed with sci-fi, like a
Mhm.
detective story or whatever. Been a long time since I've seen that one, Outland, but yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I want to see that one. That one looked really good, and then Peter Boyle looks really cool. And like his character looks legit in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's um I used to go to this place that sold electronics to see what was new and everything. And right around the time DVDs came out, I went into this place and they had the big screen and they were playing Outland on it. And I was watching it like, wow, that's crazy looking. So that was my introduction to it. So I went and rented it after that and dug it. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. Can I get a woo woo? Can I get a woo woo? Can I get a ana ana? Don and Larry, what would be your choice on the set filming with the crew from Tremors or on the set filming with the crew from movie The Lost Boys? See, I've already spoken about Eric and he's not letting me down. This is my guy. He's got us already. What would you rather do? Would you rather be hanging out on the set of Tremors or the set of Lost Boys?
So I have like two answers.
Lay them on me.
So Tremors, because hot take, I actually like that movie more than Lost Boys. Get to hang out with Fred Ward. Oh, I thought you were giving me the. I thought you were.
No,
agreeing with me. I'm like, all right, cool.
To that hot take. I was like, ooh, hot. But
I don't know. I like it more because it's just like Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and I don't know. It's just a fun movie. I do like Lost Boys. I just feel like I don't like it as much as everybody else does, but I do like it. I remember liking it. I liked it more when I was a kid. I feel like as I've gotten older, it's like, it's okay. It's a good movie. But my second answer would be, I wouldn't want to be in the desert because of the heat. So then that's why I'd want to hang out with the Lost Boy crew because it's just,
Well, that's what I was thinking, that I'd probably rather hang out with the people from Tremors because Fred Ward seems like fun. And, you'd probably hang out at night and drink some beers in between the days of filming.
Barbecue.
But then, yeah, for sure. Been cooking up graboids.
Yeah.
But then when I think about Lost Boys, I mean, not only is it like really beautiful where it's at, it looks like a cool place to be hanging out. And there's lots of neat scenery and get to hang out with the Coreys.
Yeah,
but whoever that weird kid that's the other frog brother, where did he go? What happened to him? Who is that guy?
I don't know, man. Who knows?
But
I think was that his only movie. I mean, I never saw him in anything after that.
I'm not familiar with his work beyond that. I just know him as the other frog brother. And then on top of that, it would be nice to get an autograph and a picture with the Vin Diesel with the ponytail who sings "I Still Believe" with the sax.
Yep.
And I still believe. It's like, yeah, here's me and my guy.
It's like, don't touch me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all oiled up. Don't touch me.
Right? You're gonna dry me out.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie Hart says she liked Outland. Great film. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but as I recall, it was it had that like Aliens feel where you're in that like catwalky type environment and everything's metal and because it's a space station, but it had that mystery vibe to it and it's got kind of a westerny sheriff feel to it. Yeah, it was cool. I'd re-recommend it if you like Connery. Anthony Chabot does pop cultures and openings. Welcome, Anthony. How are you guys doing? By the way, I'm almost up to 1997 in his memoirs. And you were at the library today. Nice. Anthony was taking a break from the library, so we're glad he got back there. And I'm anxious to read those memoirs. It's going to be a thick book. It's going to be quite a tome. But welcome, Anthony. Nice to have you here, Mr. Chabot. The Lost Boys has shirtless sax guy. See what I mean? He's an icon. That's why I just want to. Why isn't he at horror conventions? People need to have more pictures with him, just holding them saxophone.
You know what's weird though? Like I think I saw somewhere. I think it was on Instagram. He was at a comic book store in California. Like he did like some. He showed up somewhere like for a meet and greet. And as far as I know, I think he does do cons. I just don't think he does any like. I think he only does like major ones because I know I saw him last year doing some con. So I'm not too sure. So I know he's been out there. I know the guy, what's his name? The guy that did the music. I know he's been to Frightmare before. And then finally this past year they had Jason Patrick and one of the other guys from the vampire crew.
Yeah.
The one with the dark hair, the one that gets killed by death by stereo.
I'm trying to think what else. He's been in some other stuff though. He's turned up, but not very often. He's not as underworked as the other frog brother. Anthony apologizes for being late. You never have to be late. We'll always keep a light on for you, buddy. Greetings and salutations. Nice to see you, Professor Macabro. The other night when I was watching Demolition Man, I did a live stream on my channel, Demolition Man. Tubi added it. And they've been pushing it on everybody. No matter what movie you watch, Demolition Man shows up as a recommended view. So when I was watching Demolition Man, Rob Snyder pops up. He works in the police station. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, hey, whatever. And he's like, greetings and salutations. And I started cracking up immediately. I was like, oh, it's Macabro. Nice.
It's Macabro in the future. He's a cop.
Macabro.
Yeah,
New
Macabro,
character.
there you go.
New character. I can do a saxophone solo. Is it hot in here, or is that just Larry's takes? Thank you. Ada ooh konya. Hello, love konya. See, there we go. That's when we see Lamonia, that's the first thing we think. Konya. What was the last movie that gave you wake up in the middle of the night nightmares? Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. What do you think, Larry? You got one that comes to mind right away?
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon was scary. Yeah, the whole something about people like being possessed and speaking in Latin and all that's just very disturbing.
Or just the whole like the mutilation stuff, like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I think I said this on another stream. A backstory to that. I went into that movie. I saw the trailer for it back, when I was in high school, and then I actually, with my girlfriend at the time, we went to go watch it because I was like, oh, it's a sci-fi film. The trailer was very misleading, and then when I saw it, I was like, holy crap, what am I watching? And it kind of, some of it was really freaky to me, and it messed me up for a little bit. It messed with me like that night and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, I'm still thinking about it. And then no, but I mean, now I'm like, man, that was good. It's a good movie. Like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty good. But I think that was the last one that really like kind of like it was like it. I had a bad dream that night, I think, and I was like, oh man, it was that movie. I know it. It's messing with me.
And how old are you when this happened?
I think I was like,
was it back when it came out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so so it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The most recent movie that gave me disturbing nightmares or whatever, like really, I don't know if any nightmares ever woke me up ever since I was a kid, but a movie that stuck with me and bothered me and really disturbed me was The Hills Have Eyes remake. There's a really disturbing scene where a guy holds a gun on a mother and all this stuff. Holds a gun on the baby and makes the mother, so whatever. It bothered me and disturbed me. Other than that, I remember Requiem for a Dream kind of scarred me for life. I know it's not horror, but just watching that movie unfold, I thought it was going to be kind of an indie art house drama type thing, and it just kept getting worse and worse. I felt like I needed a shower afterwards. And even now, sometimes people are like, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen? I'm like, maybe Requiem for a Dream, man. I don't know. So
I will say this. I mean, a movie that stuck with me after that, not really woke me up, but like that stuck with me to where I was like a couple hours later that I was like, damn, that was a good movie. Was High Tension when I saw it.
Yeah, Hot Tension or whatever. But what's it also called?
Yeah.
Like what's it called? Something Sisters or something? It's got like an alternate.
I don't remember.
name.
Yeah, I don't remember what the other name is.
Something Switchblade Romance or some crap.
Maybe
Something that has nothing to do with what the.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat knows the alternate name of High Tension, yeah, I know it as High Tension, and for a while in some of my videos, there's a movie poster for High Tension behind me. So yeah, it's one of my faves. I felt like that cover was just so iconic with that badass chick holding the like saw, and she's just all covered, like it just looks like a cool movie.
Yeah, and then just that it's because of that whole that last jump scare. Me and a buddy of mine. So when I was living somewhere else, we went to go. He knew this little VHS mom and pop VHS place that had all the cool like foreign films. So he was like, "Oh man, I just heard about this movie, High Tension. We got to go try to find it. They probably have it at this video store." So we went, we got it, and then we went back to his place and we started watching it. And then it was like, I was like, "Oh man, this is so good." And then at the end, that last jump scare, we literally both like, oh, like we both like weren't expecting it. And then like an hour, 2 hours later, I was just kind of like on the internet. He was playing his DS, and I was like, damn, that movie was good. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we were both still thinking about it, you know. And
Yeah.
it stuck with. And ever since then, it's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a fun ride. I recommend it for anybody who's like oddball horror that they haven't seen.
I
The
believe it's
one you
on
says,
Tubi.
oh yeah, there you go. Cognata, Professor Macabro, and I'm assuming a cognat to everybody out there. Nice to see you. Kami1111, my friend Kami is here. This is an IRL friend of mine. Welcome, Kami. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you're on the fun bus. And yes, I am a bit of a werewolf. That's a running gag her and I have. She feels I'm potentially a secret werewolf. So yeah, it's a fun question, and the answer is yes. Quit outing me in public. Nice to see you. Is that how you
Silver does
spell
not
it?
work.
I've been spelling it wrong the whole time. Well, yeah, I've always thought it was coin ia or coin ya, but apparently we just decided it's coin yeah as the affirmative to change. So yeah, I guess that's yeah, coin yeah, America, coin yeah. It's all good, Prof. Yeah, she's forgiving him for his spelling mistakes. Alan Frog, the actor, was also in Bone Tomahawk. Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, I love Bone Tomahawk. I didn't know he was in that. That's cool.
It took me forever to watch that movie. My buddy kept like telling me, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it." My buddy Joe, he was just like, "Oh man, you haven't seen it yet. You got to watch it," because he's really big into like he liked westerns and stuff. But the fact that I was like, "Well, what is it?" It's like it's a horror movie, really, a western horror movie. And he's like, "Yeah, man, you just got to watch it." And I saw it. I was like, "Holy crap, this is good!" And I only saw it, I
Yeah.
think, like maybe like a couple of years back. I was late to the party on it, and I was just like, man, "This is good." The brutality, the actors that are in it. I mean, it was really good.
Yeah. To me, I mean, not to get too deep into it or talk about what it's about, but it almost felt like a Predator movie in a weird way. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
it felt like a Prey or whatever. Like that kind of felt
Hmm.
like that to me. So if you're into that type of film, I definitely recommend check out Bone Tomahawk. It's got a real good ensemble cast, and it's got all the Western, tough guy, manly man feels, but at the same time, it's got all the like monsters just attacking the crap out of them.
Yeah,
Um,
it's nice, man.
yeah, it's a fun one. I hope you're feeling better, Limonia. Yes, Limonia was going through some rough things, but she's bouncing back. She's getting there, Jamie. Thank you so much. So we are glad that Ed is feeling better, and Eric hopes she feels better too. Look at everybody looking out for each other. I appreciate it. As a kid, Return of the Living Dead gave me nightmares. Saw that as a tad younger than I probably should have, but recent none has really gotten to me in my dreams. Now it seems foolish to me. I mentioned it when I watched Evil Dead 2 on my channel. Evil Dead, the original, with the stab with the pencil in the ankle. Was that the original one, or is that yeah? The first time I saw that disturbed me for like a decade. My ankle kind of just hurt thinking about that. Like that imagery really shook me up. One of the only movies that actually ever gave me a nightmare, wake up from your sleep, like how they do in the movies. It's like, one of those was in Twilight Zone, the movie, which I also did recently on my channel. There's a part where there's a little kid who can make anything happen with his mind.
Hmm.
It's one of the short stories. It's a remake of a classic episode. And there's a part where there's like a Jack in the Box rabbit that pops out, and he's just terrifying and scary. Yeah, and I saw that as a little kid when that came out, and that imagery like gave me nightmares. Like it was just bothersome. Jen's reviews from the grave. Hello,
Hey,
gentlemen.
Jen.
Nice to see you, Jen. Glad to have you here. Let me see here. You do have a
So I will
very
say, kind
sexy,
of.
thick voice, indeed.
You see, I will say what you were talking about when you were talking about the whole pencil thing. The thing was
Mm-hmm.
something similar to that was Gage from when he cuts the Achilles tendon on Herman Munster. I was like, oh, that always bothered me. Just the look of it, just whenever I see something like that, and it's just the thought of it, just being like at your bed, putting on your socks, and then all of a sudden, as you're about to step up, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That always
Well,
messes with me.
As per usual, you got my back on these things. Depending on availability, either tonight or tomorrow night, there will be a watch along of Pet Cemetery on my channel. The thumbnail's already made. I was going to do it last night, but we had spotty internet, so I didn't get to it. But whether or not I'm available after I watch Jaws with Lamonia later, I may be doing Pet Cemetery tonight or else tomorrow. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Gage and Zelda and the weird hitchhiker that's dead and all that. So yeah, it's a Pet Cemetery is a scary movie when you think back on it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. A fairly recent disturbing horror film I recommend is one called The Coffee Table. Our friend Patrick, Have Cheetah Will View, has been pushing that and really caping for it and said it's a great movie. So I've been keeping an eye out for it. It's still only available to rent or on demand, but I think it'll be on Shudder or AMC Plus or whatever relatively soon. So. But yeah, thank you, Jen. That's one the Coffee Table people have been talking about. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of current horror, check out The Coffee Table. Texas Hardcore, Russell is here. We mentioned you a few minutes ago. Yeah, Russell's the man. He was watching John Waters, what is it called, Desperate Living or whatever, with the Divine. But Russell's always got awesome stuff on there, so I recommend you check out Russell's watch alongs. He's a cool dude. I don't think I've ever really had nightmares from watching horror movies. Life real situations do that just fine and dandy. Yes, that's the thing. I often say, if you're an emotional person, the news is way scarier than any horror movie. Like if you understand one is fake and one is real and one impacts the world and one is just to entertain you, one's a roller coaster, one's real life trauma. So yeah, the news bothers me, but horror movies I get a kick out of.
I do have a funny story, like kind of to segue off of that. There was a girl I dated one time, and every time I would stay at her place, she would go to sleep watching those like the first 24, those those shows.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it was like, talking about like all these killers and everything like that. And she would go to sleep watching that stuff or listening to that stuff. And it was super loud too. And then so like she would tell me, it's like, no, I had a really bad dream. So I'm like, well, look at what you're watching when you go to sleep and you leave the TV on all night. I wonder why you're having like nightmares about stuff. And she never believed me. She was like, no, it's not that. I'm like, you're hearing about people getting killed and like, all these. I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess. I mean,
and a lot of those stories, whether they're forensic files or First 48 or any of that, a lot of it is bad stuff that happens to women. So it really, I think those types of shows really program women to be afraid of everything, and I don't blame them. It's like, don't leave your house. The world's a scary, terrible place. Switchblade Romance. So yeah, I knew it was Switchblade something, so I could remember. Switchblade Sisters is a 70s movie. High Tension, Hot Tension. Yeah, that's what I first saw it as. But I believe that one has a decent audio, whatever, a dub track.
Yeah,
that in English. Yeah, that's actually watchable. I find a lot of dubbed movies aren't that great, but within the last like 20 years, they've really kind of gotten the dub down better.
And then there's also one of the girls in that is a diva from Fifth Element.
Oh, okay.
The other girl, the one with the dark hair.
Yeah,
she's the one that plays the diva. For the longest time, I was like, why does this girl look so familiar? I mean, you can't really tell because she has all the blue on, but like the face always I kept like, she reminded me of somebody. And then like later on, I found out it was her, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I knew it was somebody I'd seen before.
Yeah, that frustrates the hell out of me when I'm looking, especially a character actor, someone playing a medium role, and I'm like, why do I know this person? The other night when I was watching Demolition Man, the chief of police or whatever, the bald guy with the glasses, I kept going like, I know this dude, and I can't put my finger on why. And I'm like, yeah, he's the warden of Shawshank, and that's like the only thing he's done I would know. But
yeah, because when I was doing the rewatch, and I was like, when you got to that part when I was doing the stream, I was like, Shawshank, man, Shawshank. I was like, come on, man, Shawshank.
Yeah, no, I felt like there was going to be something that I had watched with him that was with him the whole movie, but no, sure enough, that's the one. You got the coin, yeah, Hobbs. Yeah, our friend Mr. Hobbs is here. Our Hobbs Horror. Nice welcome, Josh. Glad to see you. I was hanging out with them last night on the midnight hour, and then later on Lay's Lair. So me and Hobbs been kicking it for like the last day. Let's see here. Duh, Hobbs, Texas. People are saying hello to each other. High Tension is a great, amazing movie up till that makes not a damn sense ending. That made nonsense. Nonsense, I tell you. Professor, he'd be tough on movies though, and there wasn't probably. Well, I don't know. Was there nudity in that one? How many? Yeah.
Not really. No, there wasn't. There was like a quote unquote like sort of fellatio scene
Oh, okay, yeah,
at
yeah.
the beginning. So,
Hmm.
but I no, there wasn't any nudity in that. I don't know. I
Yeah,
thought it was good. Plus the score when it was like early Muse when they were still good. I thought that was cool. I think their music added to the film as well.
yeah, definitely. Hobbs says he hopes everyone's morning is going well. Hobbs lives in Ohio, so me and him are on the same schedule apparently. So good morning to you all. Top of the morning to you. But for everybody else, their day is almost over. He says the alternate version of Konya. We got the Konya. He always does the Bob Marley version. Could you be Konya and could be Konya? All right, now I'm going to get in trouble. Hi, Eric. I think there's a multiple versions of being coignad. Well, there for sure is. That's what I'm saying. It's a remix. I'm experiencing one now. And here we go. This was the other thing when I mentioned that when the show started that we were hoping Eric would be here to hit us with his classic good Eric questions, and I said, or else maybe Macabre will hit us with some pop quizzes. So here we go. Pop quiz, hot shots. Best splitting a person in half scene, Bone Tomahawk or Terrifier? I thought of Terrifier or Bone Tomahawk when I was watching Terrifier. As soon as that scene happens, I'm like, I think I just saw this relatively recently. Which one do you think scarier?
Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, I would probably say the same. It felt like Art was doing what he was doing to make it gross and terrifying and just be Art and do the grossest thing he could do. As where Bone Tomahawk felt because of the time period, I think, especially just the they didn't exactly have a chainsaw to do it with, they had to do it by hand and all that. So it's and it was pretty shocking in the movie when it happened. So spoiler alert for Bone Tomahawk, there's a splitting in half scene in this very crazy Western. It feels like imagine watching Tombstone and then Doc Holliday gets cut in half.
It was like I don't know. For me, it's more vicious. It's more like I guess a good word is feral. Whereas Art is just like you said, he's just doing it to do it. I felt like it was. I don't know. I still can't get on board with the Terrifier films. I haven't seen the first one. I need to watch it, but I didn't like the second one. It was like it was boring to me.
Yeah, the first one, that's the one with the chainsaw murder one, and that both of the scenes are very similar. It's one person watching someone else be tortured, so the person being watching is kind of representing the audience and seeing all this horror before them, just like the audience is, and you're sort of left helpless. You got to sit by and watch this go on. So it felt like Art was being more just for sake of doing something gross for a horror movie, as were Bone Tomahawk. At least there was a reason for why they did it, but. Yeah, so I think that one will go Bone Tomahawk on. Let us know in the chat which one you found more disturbing, or the imagery in Patrick Bateman's notebook in American Psycho, where he's cutting a woman in half. I thought of that right away when I was watching Terrifier. I was like, isn't he copying American Psycho? If you were asked to film a new horror movie, what would be your go-to genre, and who would you want in the movie? Yeah, you got a favorite horror genre that you'd be interested in making a movie for, Larry?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I've always had an idea for a couple ideas. I've had an idea for a zombie movie. I've had an idea for a sort of supernatural type film as well that was like unsuspecting, and then like at the end of it becomes like more supernatural. So and then who would you want in the movie? I would want like some decent unknown like people. I would want unknowns for sure, because I'd want to make it more like I wouldn't want like Christian Bale in it. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want like Matt Damon. I want Matt Damon in it. Like I want it to be like maybe the one person I would want in one of them, maybe the supernatural one would be like Tom Hardy.
Okay. I actually have lived this question. When I first started getting into movies and making them and editing and stuff, I wanted to learn about screenplay. So that's one of the things I talk about on my channel when I do the watch alongs is all the stuff I've learned about structure and plotting and beats and all this stuff. So I wrote a screenplay that I submitted to a few contests. It did okay, but it was a horror movie, kind of a horror comedy. And one of the characters later on, since it's probably never going to get made, I can go ahead and spoil my own movie. No one's going to see. One of the characters was like this guy who's always trying to like get with this girl, and he's sort of the nice guy. And at the end of the movie, it's revealed he's Ted Bundy. And the guy who plays Ted Bundy, I wrote this story back in the early thousands, and my idea was he was going to be played by Patrick Dempsey. And I thought, because he hadn't been used in years, like I hadn't seen him since Loverboy and his big run in the 80s. So I felt like it was almost like dusting off John Travolta for Pulp Fiction. I was like, we need to bring back Patrick Dempsey. Everybody will see him. They'll think of him as the guy you root for. Like, we want her to get with him. He's cool. And then shortly after that is when he ended up on Grey's Anatomy. So I was like, that lady owes me a check. I rediscovered Patrick Dempsey, not her. So then when he turned up in Thanksgiving, I was like, see, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Terrifier, Professor. Oh, she's going to go Terrifier over Bone Tomahawk. Have you seen Bone Tomahawk, though? Professor Macabro, Night of the Living Dead gave me some nightmares. When I was a kid, it felt old, Night of the Living Dead. Like, it was only until later I realized it was black and white on purpose, not because it was made in the 50s or whatever. So I was alienated from it. But then as I got older, some of the scenes, really stuck with me and bothered me.
Yeah, I mean after the truck blows up and you see them coming up and they're just picking up the bits and eating of the people that got blown up in the car, and I mean it's very, I don't know, man. To me, that's why it's my favorite horror movie of all time. It's just it's so the look and it's so visceral, to me. I can watch it over and over again and it's still like I'm like, or the part where the little girl is like, kills her mom and then kills her dad and starts munching on her dad, just all that stuff. It's just so like, and then the hero gets killed at the end, it's just sort of like it ends on a down note,
But the ending also, I mean, there's an argument over whether it was intended or not, but the ending feels like it has kind of a statement about society, about racism and whatnot. But before first, Mr. Dan and Horror here. Welcome. Hey, greetings from the shore. Lemonia wants to know if he's having some boardwalk fries for me. I was getting ready to, before I move on to the next question, I see our buddy Marty's here. So we'll say hi to Marty in a second. Any information you get about horror movies is coming from an expert. This man right here is the current horror YouTuber of the month. So the Cat King is in the house. So you feel like you are getting some quality info here from this guy. So I thank you for being here, Mr. King. It's nice to have you. And be sure to check out Larry's channel. He nominated people for the next month's Horror YouTuber of the Month, so be sure to participate in that. We went out of our way to make sure that Larry was this channel supported Larry very hard, and now for next month, we would like to support Trashed Picture Show. Our guy Marty is a really awesome dude. You should check him out. He's nominated for next month. Larry put him out there, and we think he would be a fine candidate, definitely, to be the one of the horror YouTubers of the month. Marty says Rob Bottin behind The Thing and RoboCop did the effects for that segment in the Twilight Zone movie. Also, Jen, babe. Yeah, there you go. So he was talking about, or I was saying how the Twilight Zone movie was so disturbing and some of the practical effects in it just shook you up. Even the Gremlin, the old school Gremlin on the wing looked kind of stupid. He looked like, I don't know. He looked like a weird monkey or something. But that Gremlin in the movie looked like Eddie from Iron Maiden. That was a scary Gremlin.
Well, I mean, this like he was saying. I mean, Bottin, the rabbit, it looks something like out of The Thing.
Yeah, it's got like the really skinny ribs and just the face, and he understands like how to make a monster look like a monster. Lamonia is welcome, and Marty. Yes, we all love Marty. Glad to have you here. Marty is speaking of Predator. You want to find somebody who knows about Predator. Marty is your guy. If you're on a game show and you have a Predator question, use your phone a friend to Marty. I'm telling you right now.
Or Alien.
Yeah, Alien or Predator. That's Marty's stuff. It's his jam. Pascal, Daddy, Pascal. I saw definitely had some fries, pizza, chicken tenders, no salt water taffy yet. So Mr. Dan is living it up on the Jersey boardwalk. Nice.
Nice.
Kami says she just saw the coffee table. Did you like it? You usually have really good taste in flicks. She was pushing me on Killing of a Sacred Deer forever, and I'm like, I'm not sure I would like it. And now, damn, whenever I log in on HBO Max and somewhere else, they're pushing Killing of a Sacred Deer on me. So she knows the good ones. But yeah, let us know if you like the coffee table. I hear it's good. I was surprised. Google listed as a horror/comedy. Unaware about that. Yeah. So, hey Dan, what's the situation? Get it? That's a Jersey Shore joke. Um, I could never get into saltwater taffy. I like me some fudge kitchen fudge though. Oh, I like fudge. Russell says, thanks, Don. Yes. Well, we dig us some Russell. He's cool, smart dude. He's always so good people to know. Another cool guy from Texas, but he's an honorary Canadian. I've never had a nightmare about a movie, just real life stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. The only time I really specifically remember having nightmares is way back when I was a kid from that. But the movies that disturb me and almost daydream about how horrible they were was those others mentioned. And Lamonia's in agreement with Jamie. Yeah, that's what I mean about the news being scarier than horror movies. I enjoy fake scare. Real trauma leaves me bothered for days. Fudge. Yeah, I love fudge. That's one of my favorite things about Christmas time is fudge is more readily available. So, fudge.
Well, if you ever pass by a Buc-ee's, man, I mean, it's mostly a thing in Texas. I think they've branched out a couple places. I can't remember. Russell might know better than I do. I don't know, but they have fudge all the time, and it's like theirs is pretty good. They have different flavors and everything. It's pretty legit.
Fancy. I'll be keep my eye out for Bucky then. Mr. Dan's still looking for the situation. So I would like to watch a reality show about that where Mr. Dan's just out searching for the situation. Don and Larry, for you, what makes a movie memorably scary? Gore sometimes. I mean, all the elements of horror in general. Like I watched a Skinamarink and I didn't like it very much. It wasn't really my thing, but the whole movie was just, you kind of sit on edge and uncomfortable, and it builds to an uncomfortable edge. And the payoff isn't really good enough with that. I didn't feel like, but that sense of like, is that almost a feeling of anticipation, is more scary than the actual whatever happens. But also, gore, not so much. I often see gore only as special effects. Like how do they stick that arrow through that guy's throat or whatever? It's like, okay, well, they had a fake guy and a real head, and I try to do the math on it. But like all horror movies, I go by the rule that you have to spend the first act getting to care about the people, do something that makes me give a damn about this character, and then when something bad happens, I feel sympathy for that person. But a lot of slasher movies, a lot of like horror, with young people, they just introduce us to 4 jagoffs and you're like, I hope they get killed. They're annoying. So what about you? What kind of stuff sticks with you for horror?
I think it's more of I think I kind of talked about it a little bit, like the stuff from Night of the Living Dead where it's like real visceral. There's this other French film called Inside. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. So the guys that made this one, if I'm remembering correctly, I think they made it as an homage to High Tension. I remember reading it somewhere way back in the day when my buddy turned me on to it. So basically, there's this woman, she's pregnant. She gets into a car accident at the beginning of the film, loses her husband, and basically she's about to have her child. And all of a sudden, this lady just starts stalking her, and you don't know why. I mean, you find out later and stuff like that. But just it's so like, man, the violence that this lady does to the girl that's pregnant, the pregnant woman that's getting ready to pop, and the people that are around her. It's just so like it's the first movie. It's the first movie that I saw the gore, and I was just like, it made me like literally like cringe because it was like so visceral and so like I was like, oh, I was like, just oh my god, man. And if you haven't seen it, it's they remade it. Like did a remake of an American remake and stuff like that. It's called Inside, but it's really good. It's
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty good, and it's just so like yeah, man, it's intense. That stuck with me for a long time. That really like just the fact of like you're going through the whole movie and you don't know, like that's the scary part. Like why is this lady doing this to this poor woman? You know, you feel for the woman because it's starting off. She's in a car accident, loses her husband, and she's pregnant, and she's left like with a scar and everything from the accident. And then all of a sudden, this lady just starts like messing with her and really messes her up. Like messes her up and people around her, and it's just, man, it's crazy. And then
Yeah.
when you find out at the end, like why she's doing it, it's more like oh man, it's like a and the ending, it's just yeah, it's good. It's a good movie, but stuff like that when it's like violence like that, where it's just you like you were saying, you feel for the character, and then or if you just do something to an animal, that's
Yeah, that always works. That's a cheap one.
yeah.
But like when I think about a movie like Hereditary, you ever see that?
Hmm.
Um, like we meet that little girl with asthma, and you kind of care about her, and you kind of like feel for her. It's like, oh, she's kind of a nerdy, kid. I like her. I hope everything works out for her. And then, yeah, not so much. And when
I
it happens, you're like extra traumatized and bothered. And then especially the ensuing things that happen after that with the family, you feel like you're watching a heavy duty family drama about people dealing with grief and loss and the family unit. And then they add more horror. They just start mixing horror in with it.
yeah.
So yeah, I think a fair amount of melodrama to make me care about the characters. And then once you pile the horror around, it actually means something. But
Hmm.
you know as far as just creeps in the woods, nude skinny dipping or whatever, it's like, I'm not my thing. Did anyone GTL today? That's something from the Jersey Shore. Jim Tan and what's the other one? I can't remember what L is, but yeah, Jim Tan and something.
Black tape.
Sure, that's what it is. Um, let's see here. Unsolved Mysteries made me borderline recluse. Tommy went to a party and never seen again. Nancy went to a party and never seen again. So I never went to parties and I've never been seen again. Unsolved Mysteries had a really creepy beginning too. The intro. When I think about something that did make me unsettled and need to turn the lights on, the old beginning of Tales from the Dark Side,
Hmm.
the old TV show, the George
Yep.
Romero one or whatever, and they would push through the woods, and it was just all stock footage of like creepy old covered bridges and stuff.
Yeah, and
And
it was like sort of like shot black and white slash. If I'm remembering correctly, like sort of like almost like a negative
yeah,
filter
very
or
like
something. It was very
yeah,
disorientating when I remember the I remember the intro to that, and it would always like just kind of stick with me every time.
the intro was more scary than any episode. That first like doo, 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 that music would play, and it would just like, oh man, this is a traumatizing show. But then the shows themselves are almost kind of fun. But yeah, that intro, watch that on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure that'll give you nightmares. Is there a movie that triggers you a real fear? Yeah, that's what I was saying about Requiem for a Dream. I've seen people in my life have bad things and devolve, and I went through a situation where I wasn't really dealing with my family all that much, and the family dynamics in that and everything just bothered me. Anything that touches close to home, like, hey, I've got something like this going on in my life. It feels more like I'm one of the characters. What about you?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I mean, it's not really like um, certain situations and like shows, even like they'll hit me because of stuff that I've been through or stuff that I've known people that are going through. Like
Hmm.
I don't want to go too much into it, but it's just like yeah, there's certain things like when I watch a show. Like, did you ever see that show Shameless?
Yeah.
So like there's something that happens in one of the later seasons where
Yeah, I haven't
like
seen any of the later seasons.
yeah, what happens to Lip, and
Oh,
then
okay.
it's like, and then that triggered me when I saw it, and what happens to him, and then I was just like, it reminded me of like a buddy of mine, and it reminded me of like, you know, me in my 20s and stuff, and it just kind of like it triggered me, and I didn't want. It's one of those things where like, yeah, see, more like that. It's not really it's a fear, but it's not like scary or anything, you know.
Yeah, I have those too. The things that they touch a little close to home or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, uh, you know, it's a one. This is not necessarily horror, but it triggers a real fear. To this day, when I watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when they go to the Sears Tower and now it's called something else. I forget what it's called. They stand on the railing and they lean forward and put their head on the glass and they look down the side of the building. My palms get sweaty watching it to this day. I'm like, that window's going to bust out and you're all going to fall to your death. You guys need to knock that off and get off that railing right now. Like, I turn into their parents, like, get down off that railing now. So yeah, my fear of heights is triggered by that. And there's a movie called Fall where they have to climb a long pole and go like damn near like a mile up in the sky to replace some beacon or whatever. And it's a movie that preys on your fear of heights, or my fear of heights as it was. So yeah, those two they will literally give me sweaty palms when I watch them. Like it's something involuntary. Just watching other people scares the hell out of me. I suddenly want a hot fudge sundae real bad, right? Let's see here. That movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds, that was my greatest fear. Yeah, that's another one that I think the first time I had that fear was when I saw the American remake of The Vanishing with Sandra Bullock and Jeff Bridges and all that. Yeah. And then basically Buried is the hour long or the entire length movie of that fear. But
It's kind of like that movie with it. I mean, it's not like it, but it's like where it's only happening in the box. It's like that movie with Tom Hardy where he's only in the car.
Yeah, that's actually what I thought of when Buried came out. I was intrigued to see it because it's like, well, how are you going to make just a dude in a room this big, entertaining for that long?
Yeah, it's intense, man. I was surprised when I saw a trailer for it before it came out, and then I totally forgot about it. And then I saw it on, I think I saw it on either Netflix or somewhere, and I was like, Buried. And then I saw the picture, and I was like, Ryan Reynolds, why does this look familiar? And I saw the trailer, I was like, oh man, this is a movie I wanted to see like so long ago. And I saw it, and yeah, man, it's just the way it ends and everything. I was like, wow, I was surprised, like, because I was the same way. Like, how are you gonna do a whole movie in a box? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's nuts.
When I see movies like that, Buried, or like you were saying, Without Locke with Tom Hardy, I feel like that's the type of thing an actor gets the script and he's like, wait a minute, the camera's going to be on me the whole movie? I'll take it. Nobody else really gets to talk. And when they do, it's all about me and the camera's always on me. And I don't even really have to move around. Oh, that sounds great. Sign me up. Jamie, I just served myself a banana split. I think I caught ice cream craving. See, look at that. These New Jerseyans pushing delicious food on everybody. Lamonia and Jamie are going out for ice cream. They deserve it. And they do.
Nice.
I like both of them. I want to come with. I'll meet you guys at wherever. Night of the Boob Zombies is already in pre-production. If someone is interested in a voiceover role, let me know. So Vogue, everybody. Yeah, I'm interested in Night of the Boob Zombies. Did you need someone to Konya or Uwu, Professor? I'm your girl. She is the queen of Konya. That's a good shirt. The Queen of Konya.
Oh. Speaking of, you had a store open up, right? This week as well.
Look at you. You always got my back on these things. Yes, this week we rolled out Night Owl Movie Talk merch. It's available at my Teespring store. I will be posting a link later on. I go through and I fill out the description and I put in chapters for the show and stuff. So if you're watching the replay of this, it will be in the description. Otherwise, it'll probably be in the description of every video I make going forward. 8 available designs. Also, there is a Horror Cat Dad shirt available, or a Horror Cat Dad merch store that you need to check out. Get yourself some that logo right there. Yeah, exactly. We've seen him model many of the shirts on the show. And if you're wearing a Horror Cat Dead shirt and Larry sees you, that's good. He will give you a hug. So there, I've just sold you out. I'm literally going out for a Sunday right now. I'll be back later. Wow, damn it. We're running off people, but we're doing great for the Sunday business. But enjoy your Sunday, Jamie. I enjoy your Sunday and your Sunday. So make sure to get extra fudge for me. Just Jamie, enjoy. Ronald from Can't Buy Me Love. There you go. The redheaded guy. Hello, Texas ACX 1967. Sunday sounds yummy. Enjoy. Right? That did sound good. The Hansel is in the house. Hi, y'all. Charlotte Nightstar, the wolf, and the werewolf. So she's a werewolf. So then we got all sorts of werewolves in here. But welcome, Charlotte Nightstar. Glad to have you here. Charlotte and I recently became friends on Instagram, so I'm glad to see that she's here. We're buddies now. Did you all hear Possession might get a remake with Twilight Batman? No.
Yeah, I heard about that this week.
I was unaware.
Like, wow, interesting. I haven't seen the movie, the original. I need to watch it. But I was like, wow, it's okay. Because I know you were talking about it recently. You just saw it, right?
Yeah, the old school 81. That's what I was trying to imagine as what's his name? Robert Pattinson. Is that dude's name? Mm-hmm. Batman, Twilight guy. Yeah, I could see him doing that. It's a very it feels almost like a play, but it a lot of the stuff of people in apartments just talking, and then you go to another apartment and talk for a while or whatever. So it's a very good movie for an actor to do because it's not so much action as it's about performance. So I think a dude like that would probably help get a movie like that greenlit. He'd probably do a good job in it. He's growing on me as an actor. So I think he would probably do a good job. Yeah, The Lighthouse is where he grew on me. That's where, because prior to that, I only knew him as the Twilight guy, and then he was in that movie, Water for Elephants or something like that. I never watched it, but when I saw him in The Lighthouse and then in Batman, yeah, I was like, yeah, this guy's actually decent. I'm cool with him. So I think he would probably do good in Possession. The key role is the female part, the wife. That's the meaty role in my, He would get to do a lot of acting and emoting, but she would have the cool one. So yeah, I'd be interested to see who stars opposite with him in that. The person who built it sold it. The person who bought it and used it. The person who used it never saw it. What is it? The person who built it sold it. The person who bought it never used it. The person who used it never saw it. What is it?
Konya.
Konya. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know, Eric. I think we're stumped. Let us know in the chat or the comments if you got an answer. I saw it inside just as my first gremlin was about to be born. It's a good thing the mom didn't see it with me because she would have lost her shit and avoid the lame-o remake, though. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering if I should make the effort to see the French one instead of the American version. So I will go that route then. Thank you, Professor. Our buddy, previous horror YouTuber of the month, Jinja Ninja JK. Yo, how's it going? In the house. So now we're already stretched out to Australia on this episode. We're doing good. Laundry, LOL. I think that's the person who
GTL.
built it, maybe. Yeah, GTL.
No,
laundry. Thank you. Yeah, got you. All right, that's what the L was. Why would those jagoffs do laundry? Weird. Let's see. Yeah,
sweating all over the place.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, doing the.
Let's see here. I didn't care for the creepy little girl in Hereditary. She was creepy. So after the thing with the pole, I was like, good thing the creepy kid ain't in this anymore. Professor with a heartfelt answer. At least he's honest.
Hey man, I mean, when I saw that scene, my buddy, so I didn't see it in the theater. It took me a long time to watch it. My buddy Joe, he said that he saw it in the theater, and when that happened, like the whole theater was just like everything just dropped.
Yeah.
It's like you could hear a pin drop, And he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be rough," and I'm like, "Okay." So I saw it, and I was just like,
"Yeah, it's memorable,
interesting." And just the way the brother reacts, and
That's what I was going to
then
say. That to me is the memorable part. Is his reaction to it and what he does following right after it, because that felt real. Like, what do you mean you
mhm.
didn't tell anybody right away? Like, it's like I had to go home and sleep, man. I couldn't
And then
believe
the
that happened. I
mom,
was in shock. Yeah, yeah, that's a fun movie. I recommend Hereditary if you haven't seen it. It's a wild ride.
yeah, it's good.
Superman 3, that transformation into a robot scene. Damn. Yeah, a lot of people were bothered by that. What's that? Robert, what's his name? Yeah, where he gets turned into the old guy from Mission
No, it's
Impossible.
the sister. The
Oh, the
sister gets
sister. That's
turned
right.
into.
The sister one. Yeah, she gets turned into the robot, and I gotcha. I remember
I
because
kind
that's
of,
the same type of thing. It's like she gets all wrapped up and trapped,
and
and you
then the
see her
eyes
fighting.
and yeah,
Yeah,
that's what threw that when I was a kid. That would creep me out too because it's like basically you're watching a Superman movie and it's got comedy in it, so it's kind of
yeah. Richard
ridiculous. And then
Pryor. Yeah,
and then it goes like to that. I was like for the longest time when I was a kid because I had it on VHS and I couldn't watch it. That part it would always creep me out. The eyes when the eyes came out and they were white, I'm like
hmm, yeah. I remember Superman 3. I saw it in the theater, and mainly because it was a Richard Pryor movie. But I also liked Superman. But I like the whole. I like the Superman, the bad version of him with the darker suit and the kind of 5 o'clock shadow. Like I don't know, that was a cool character. I'd like to watch a whole movie about him. Um, let's see here, Larry. I love Shameless. There are a lot of episodes that hit me in the gut. Yeah, that's when my mom watched it. I watched it once, and I told her, "Man, you probably like this show." And then she watched like the whole series run, and she's like, "This is my favorite show of all time." I was like, oh
I,
shit! All right, I'll check it out
oddly enough,
sometime.
I never saw it, and then my wife was watching it, and then when they were talking, she was talking about it. My mom was there, and my mom's like, "Oh, I love that show." I'm like, "What?" And then I saw the
Yeah.
show, and I was like, "Mom, you watch this really?" And she's like, "Yes, I love that show. I can't get enough of it." I'm like, Jesus, this show's like crazy, man. But it's good. I mean, I really like it. But yeah, there are a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in that show that hit close to home that I'm just like, yeah, man, it's crazy.
The robot scene didn't scare me. It kind of disappointed me. I was like, "Oh, sure, are we going to get a Brainiac in Superman 3?" Alas, this was not Brainiac. That's a good point. I think it was some lame Robo lady. Um, Professor very difficult on these movies. He's a tough critic, I say. But what scene does it for you? The chest defibrillation scene in The Thing, or the xenomorph busting out in the chest in Alien? Oh boy, that's a tough one. I don't know if I'm willing to pick one. They're both so amazing. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go The Thing because they set it up so well. And in the xenomorph, there's so much building up to it that you kind of almost feel like something might happen. As where
Hmm.
the one in The Thing is like one of the best jump scares there's ever been in a movie. Everything's calm and it scares the crap out of you.
Well, they're
Um,
already in that. They're already tense. Like they're like, oh man, we got to get this guy. He's had a heart attack. They're like in panic mode, and then all of a sudden, just like what was it? I think like on the third pump, it just and then
mhm.
I don't know, man. I'd pick The Thing for sure. I love that movie so much. I can watch it over
Yeah.
and over again. It's just Alien. I do like Alien as well, and that knowing that they didn't know they didn't know it was coming, like that was
Mhm.
their real reactions. I mean, that part of it adds to it, but still, man, I think The Thing is just I don't know. It's just so good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't feel good picking one over the other, but I would
Mhm.
probably go with The Thing just because it's that one deal. In the Alien, there's a whole franchise of that the chest burster happening. But um, let's see here. As a kid, it freaked me out, Professor Macabre. The Superman 3, the robot lady. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Because even now, I still remember like her kind of was it she's like put in a chair, right? And then the stuff just starts wrapping around her, or she becomes part of the supercomputer thing that they built.
Yeah, so like she's trying to run, and then like the computer like grabs her, and
Okay.
then it's like it pulls her in, and you see all the wiring just starting to like, and then like all over her, and it's that alone is like I was like, oh man, that's nuts, the way that they
Mhm.
cut it together, and that part of it looks really really cool. The way like she's like and she's screaming too, so you hear her voice, and then it goes to like I guess a modulize module module. Am I saying that right? I don't know.
Sure. Modulated.
Modulated, and and then so you hear that, and then all of a sudden she's just like this like robot, thing, whatever. That would have been cool if it was Brainiac.
Yeah, that would have been a neat twist. I can't wait to wear my Don Zombie shirt. LOL. Girl, thank you. Yes, at the aforementioned Night Owl Movie Talk Creator Store. There's a creators.
Yeah, the other one didn't work.
Oh yeah, sometimes when you put links in the YouTube version, it doesn't work. But sometimes when you put them in the StreamYard, it does. Whatever. But yes, there are 8 designs: a Rob Zombie one, a Misfits one, and an NWO version. Basically, it's a probably legally actionable collection of shirts. I expect a cease and desist letter any day. So
when you get called when you get a call from Kevin Nash, be like, "Oh, Kevin Nash, big fan. You want to come on the show?"
That's the plan. Exactly. Yes, Mr. Zombie, I will pull that shirt immediately. And are you busy on Friday? Let me see. Where was the breakdown? The person who built it sold it. The person who bought it never used it. And the person who used it never saw it. And the answer is a coffin. This is good. I'll be using that one at Halloween time.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Eric always on some good stuff. The answer is coffin. You guys are fist pumping wrong. You got to show how it's done.
I'm from Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I only do fist pumps when Swamp Kitty comes on. So, yeah, there you go, Larry. Yeah, cut a rug, buddy. I'm taking that scene and laying music down behind it. Would you rather stay the night in the cabin from the movie Cabin in the Woods or the cabin in the movie Evil Dead? Ooh, that's a particularly good question. I was just talking about Cabin in the Woods with somebody the other day. I've mentioned before that people know I love movies. So whenever they want to make small talk, one of the first things like, did you ever see Cabin in the Woods? It's like, yeah, actually I have. I would say Cabin in the Woods, probably because there's so much going on, but because the Evil Dead, we've established it doesn't have to be a cabin. Yeah, exactly.
And you don't want to be there.
Yeah, you just don't want to be there.
I mean, I'd want to be out. Like, I'd want to drive past it and be like, "Oh, cool," and staying now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good. Would you rather stay the night? But I'm assuming, though, also if we looked at this as real life situation, not as the horror movies were real. So, like, what would be a cooler, like, nostalgia vacation? Like I would probably go Evil Dead then. Like, oh, I'll be staying the night in the cabin. But the Cabin in the Woods one, people wouldn't recognize as much. I wouldn't think.
Well, I think now that cabin from Evil Dead, it's gone, right?
I thought so. Yeah, I thought it was. I'd read somewhere that it had been destroyed or had fallen in on itself or whatever because it was old then,
But that would be cool, though. I mean, I still want to make a trek out to the what is it? The Sawyer, not the Sawyer, the gas station. It's a gas station / something now for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
Because it's out here in Texas. I still haven't gone. A buddy of mine, he keeps telling me we should go, and I'm like, yeah, man, we should go. Just let me know.
Make a road trip, make a vlog. Yeah. I'll watch it.
And yeah.
Hey, Corey here. Welcome, Corey. Wilkie's Movies and Music. Here's while I'm thinking about it. Corey, I had subscribed to him, but he was never in my subscription feed. So, they're always like, make sure you hit the bell. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm always like, man, F that bell. I'm not hitting that bell. I'm not jumping through all these hoops for you guys. Subscribe is good enough. So for some reason, Corey never turned up in my feed. And I went to his page and I unsubscribed and resubscribed. And now he's like at the top all of a sudden. So I apparently poked the algorithm. So I've been checking out more of Corey's content all of a sudden. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. He's a really good host. They do a good job over there. So I was watching today the little bit of the noon show, and the other night I see coming up soon. He's got Return of the Living Dead for a watch along. So yeah, check out Corey. His channel is really impressive. I think that guy's undersubscribed, I should say. Cabin from Evil Dead. As long as no one reads the book or plays any recording, it's all good. Yeah, it looks like it smells a little mildewy. That cabin though, it's a little. Looks like it smells a little dank in there.
Well, I mean, it's like. I wouldn't mind staying at I wouldn't mind staying at the the Night of the Living Dead house, but doesn't have
Hmm.
AC. So that's the
Oh,
problem.
there you go. So do it in
That's the problem.
November, October.
Yeah,
Do it in October. Do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do it in October. Leave the windows open. Just sleeping bag. Air mattress, whatever.
There you go. Bring a fan. Evil Dead, that's random, maybe survivable. Cabin in the Woods is all set up scientifically to take you out. They even would bet on how fast I would get taken out. Yeah, so Professor thinks he's got more of a fighting chance than the Evil Dead cabin.
Wasito says in the back too, so I'm sure she could put up a good fight.
Yeah, Eric says that, but he agrees with the professor. Yeah, I don't know if you. What else has been going on with you lately? You've been doing anything fun around the? You've been meeting up with anybody or doing any watch-alongs? You got any plan coming along soon?
I know we've
It's like,
been talking about brain scan, so I just
yeah,
need to see. I need to see when Russell and Sean and Juno and you as well. I mean, we all got to like plan it and see. The only other thing, I mean, I've been able to start doing like my figure reviews again, so that's good. I really want to do brain scan, and I want to do subspecies at some point too. That'd be really cool. But
yeah. I still have been meaning to watch the Subspecies movie, and I'd never heard of them before I met you, and you're the Subspecies fan. So, basically, ever since I stumbled onto that world, I was like, oh, there's a whole story, a whole section of life I didn't know anything about. Larry's turning me on to new things here. That a boy.
was the other thing that's interesting is when I met Ted Nicolau at Frightmare, I told him like I pimp it out to everybody that I know. I tell everybody about it. And then he like lit up. He's like, "Oh, really?" And you're like, "Yeah." I told all my friends, like, "Have you seen this movie? You got to watch this movie." And yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite. It's definitely my favorite Full Moon franchise. And I just.
And what was your favorite Ted Nicolau movie?
It has to be the subspecies ones. I mean,
Okay.
but TerrorVision is really good.
That's the answer I was
It's a
looking
lot of
for.
fun.
This past Thursday, whatever, last night, Hobbs Horror was watching a TerrorVision. So I thought of you when he was checking it out. So be sure to check in there and see that.
And then Matt Pugwell 316 and JT Horror Discussions are doing a stream for TerrorVision tomorrow.
Oh, really? So there you go. Lots of opportunities for you guys to check out TerrorVision.
I may or may not join. I'm not too sure yet. If everything works out, I might be a part of it. So that's why I didn't want to say too much, or I didn't want to say like, "Oh, I'm going to do this," because I don't want to say it, and then I end up not being able to. So, but they're going to be doing that tomorrow, and so hopefully, if I can, I'll get to check it out. Nice. And yeah, I think we had talked. We had mentioned before if Jinja, if he can work it out too, he's more than welcome to join the brain scan stream.
Oh, definitely. That would be too big of a party at that point. That's too much jumping. You got to do the Radu. Lamonia knows the subspecies. She knows what's up. Esfitos, dude, she would stab me and leave me as bait while she runs away to safety, which is fair play because I would do the same, which is why we're perfect together. We match our sporked upness. Let's see here. What vehicle from a horror movie would you love to own? Wow, that's a good one. I don't know. I don't know. From the horror movie, what I like to own? Maybe the hearse from Phantasm.
Oh man, I was thinking that same one.
Great minds think alike.
It's crazy. I was thinking that same exact thing. I was like,
or you on the Evil Dead tip, the classic. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I know a lot of people would say the Christine. Not really.
Oh yeah. One. Yeah, that because that's a bad car. The red, and everybody would see it and know what it was right away. That's a pretty good one.
I think I would probably go with. Actually, it is from. Oh man, we're just talking about it right now. It is from the Phantasm franchise, but it'd be the car, Reggie's car.
Oh, okay, got ya.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I was trying to think of what other famous, rides are in horror movies. I mean, I guess like the Jeepers Creepers Jeep, and trying to think
or that
of
scary looking Jeep from High Tension that the guy has.
Yeah, How about that car that's in Aliens, the one that that they drive with the big space age kind of Cybertruck looking deal. Yeah, that might be a
Yeah, the
fun one,
Cybertruck.
and it's fancy. Yeah, the Cybertruck. Jinzo 2400 says, "What is a terror vision? What exactly is a terror vision?" It's a '80s horror movie, but it's got kind of a weird examination of channel flipping or whatever at the time. Like it's I don't know. How would you describe a terror vision without spoiling it?
TerrorVision is basically, well, for one, it's a fun movie. The way I would describe it
Yeah,
is like,
a
think
lot
of
of
like Stay Tuned meets like creature feature sort of thing. And I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's like the creature looks like really cool, and yeah, you can suppress its hunger by showing it TV. So I'll just leave it at that.
uh,
So I think that's pretty funny.
that's a perfect answer. And welcome, Jinzo. Nice to have you here. Hey, Larry. Now hear me out. I'm thinking of having a discussion stream on 2018's Predator, particularly the Nick Stargazer cut with the Ripley ending. Yeah, the 2018 Predator, the Predator was a lot of people were on. So I don't know.
Iron Predator.
Larry doesn't seem he's got a bad taste in his mouth. He's like, I'll watch Marty talk about it, but yeah, I don't know if I approve.
If you want me to bash it for like, for about an hour, then yeah, it's like I can go on. I can go on and on about that one, as well as what's the other one? Oh yeah, Last Jedi. I can go on.
I was gonna say
Ages
the
about
Last Jedi. Those are like your two least faves. Oh, that's a great car, Jinja, or the Death Proof car. I like it because that's a dope one. Which one? The Stuntman Mike or the one that they were playing Captain's Mast or whatever on the Charger, or is it Challenger?
It's
The
got
one
to be the
from
Stuntman Mike.
the Vanishing Point. Well, the Stuntman Mike one though, it's only got one seat. So you know what I mean, it's gonna be uncomfortable if you have to give somebody a ride somewhere. But otherwise, yeah, that's a decent one. No, Larry, you want the Pinto from Cujo? Yeah, that little like ugly thing.
The one that breaks
Yeah,
down, and
the Hermacute from Phantasm. There you go.
the ice cream truck
Can
from
I have the
Phantasm.
Nostromo Alien Free or the Sulaco? There you go. I don't think those count as cars. Do Ghostbusters count? Because I would totally ride an Ecto One for sure. Yeah, actually, I've seen a handful of Ecto Ones in my life, like out in the wild. I don't know if people make them themselves, I'm assuming, or what. But my old hometown, there was a guy that drove a converted car that looked like Ecto One, and you just be driving down, and it would pass you on the highway. What the hell? So yeah, that would be a fun one, and it's got lots of room. Like I was complaining about the Stuntman Mike car, it's not enough passenger room in there. Poor Rose McGowan. The car from the car. Good answer, Jinzo. Good answer. It's like Family Food. Good answer. Good answer. The car from the car, or the car from Duel is also good too. Nostromo, nice. He would go same as the Ghostbusters vehicle. Of course, Lamonia was. Lamonia would have it stocked full of Ecto Cooler and green Twinkies and all of it.
Yeah, the green Twinkies.
The Aliens armored personnel carrier. Yeah, see, Marty's on my level. He knows what's up. She's saying in TerrorVision, there's a snuggly monster with an extra long tongue. Yeah, watching the movie, Lamonia was all down for snuggling with the monster in TerrorVision. Ben Grimm, nice to see Ben here. Welcome, Ben. The Wraith, that's a good pick too. That's a good one.
I've always had this, and I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. I've never really considered the Wraith a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Doesn't he get revenge on the people who killed him or caused his death or whatever? Right. So isn't it kind of? I mean, I guess it's a revenge thriller, but it feels like a horror movie to the people getting knocked off.
I mean, to me, it feels like more like a sci-fi, like almost like a sci-fi film, because he gets the suit and then the car. The car reminds me of the car out of like Last Starfighter.
Yeah, I would say that. That's fair.
So I don't know. Like for me, growing up, I always thought I don't know. I never really considered it a horror movie. I know it's considered a horror movie, but for me, I always had that in the back of my mind. It's like, is it really? I don't know.
Mhm. There's a great answer, Eric. Nice one. That's almost like he thought about it. The truck in Maximum Overdrive. I'm assuming the Green Goblin Happy Toys truck is probably what he's talking about.
I can't pick that because I can't drive.
Oh yeah, you can't drive big rig. Yeah, I
No,
feel you.
it's
And it's a
too
pain
much
to try
work.
to park that thing.
Yeah.
How are you gonna? Yeah, trying to back in sounds like a pain. Yes, the Wraith. Oh, see, there we go. The truck from Duel. Okay, so Jinzo's in on that one. Nice. You gotta be Stuntman Mike's car. Yeah. Yeah, I would go with that one. Jamie's back. Did you get your Sunday?
Was it good? Tell us. We need to know.
I'll pick Drag Y'all Asses Down. So she picks the Dragula from the Munsters. So and she's doing a callback to one of the worst puns I've ever made. Welcome back, Jamie. How's the Sunday treating you? Yeah, we all kind of want to know. That's inquiring minds want to know. How's that Sunday? It was delicious.
I need me one of them
Yeah.
right now. Where's Texas Heat?
Actually, yeah. Coignet. The Nostromo sucks. Its Bison class haul are essentially a tow truck. The Saluco is a Conestoga, a class trooper carrier. That thing is loaded to the gills with an ordnance. Yeah, that's like I said, if you got aliens or predators things, Marty's there for you. So yeah, I'm all over that. Ginger calls The Wraith a supernatural revenge film. I think that's kind of fair. Yeah, that's probably fair. Are we picking our favorite movie cars? Yes, particularly horror. That's sort of the debate, whether sci-fi or not. But The Wraith is basically Ghost Rider minus the flames because Charlie Sheen didn't want to be in flames. Fair enough. Yeah, he's kind of. I always think Ghost Rider and Spawn are very similar characters. Like they remind me of sort of the same deal.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I mean, I guess because they're all burned up, and then their powers come from, I guess from the underworld or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Spawn is just way more violent, man. It's way more vicious than Ghost Rider.
Well, but even Spawn steals Ghost Rider's chains. It's the whole thing where he's a servant of the devil, just all of it. Like, Side note, most of the the DC characters all usually live in fake places, Metropolis and Gotham and stuff. And the Marvel characters, they live in New York and all these places, right? So the Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, he's from the same hometown as me. His fictional hometown is my real life hometown, his birthplace.
Nice.
Favorite sheriff in a horror movie? Oh boy, that's a toughie because sheriffs are in a lot of them. R. Lee Ermey from Texas Chainsaw, the newer ones. Who else was a good sheriff in a horror movie? What you got? You got a favorite? That's a toughie because I'm thinking of for some reason that movie Desperation, is that what it's called? It's a Stephen King one with Mick Garris or something, and I think there's a famous sheriff in that. I don't know. I'm trying
because there's also Roy Scheider from Jaws.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a bunch of them, man. I mean, it's hard to think. There's that one. There's also another one that comes to mind is the sheriff from Halloween. I mean, that's a tough question. I got to think about that one.
Yeah,
I mean, there was another movie. I think there was a movie with I haven't seen it, but I read about it. It's like James Hetfield as a sheriff in some movie. Yeah, I saw a picture of it, but yeah, I was just like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of them out there. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head.
Jamie says she wants the Batmobile, but she wasn't here for the addendum that it had to be of horror. But so since she went and got us all Sundays, I'll say we'll allow that as an answer. Or the dog car in Dumb and Dumber. That's a great pick. Jamie is living deliciously. Yes, she is. Good choice. The Charger and Drive Angry. Yeah, that's a pretty damn good car.
I need to watch that movie.
I only saw the beginning of it, and then I had to leave. And I've always been like, I need to get back and watch the rest of it because I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but it's I don't know, it's fun.
Well, it's kind of like from
Let's see.
what I've heard in like reviews and stuff. It's almost similar to like Ghost Rider, right? But in a car where he like has like
Um,
supernatural powers or
Drive, yeah,
something.
yeah, basically. I mean, what's his name? Isn't it like John Milton or something? It's a whole, hell thing or whatever. So yeah, I would say Ghost Rider. But like I said, I only saw the first half or whatever with it. So I was one of those that's like, I need to see the rest of this. And then I thought it was going to be terrible because when it came out, it didn't look like anything I'd want to see. But then, yeah, it ended up being good. It looked like a ripoff of like Crank or something. And then when you watch it, it's like, no, it's way more supernatural and fun.
Hmm.
The USS Scoutskip is now as a nifty ship. You can rip a hole in space and take out the USCM transport land like it's a tick. See, there you go. There's Marty for you. He knows what's up. Jamie, nice. Oscar Mayer Wienermobile count? I think wieners always count. Is power to the wiener. Is Lefty from TCM 2 a sheriff? I know he comes some sort of a cop. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yeah, that's what I don't know. I would assume so. Ed Harris, the sheriff in Needful Things. Yeah, that's a pretty good one as far as King again.
That's
You
a
ever
good
seen
movie.
Needful Things? Yeah, Needful Things is fun. You ever seen the long cut, like the 4-hour deal?
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's two different cuts. There's like a 2-hour cut they sell like when TNT has it or whatever, but then there's
Hmm.
also like a, I don't know, 3 hour and 45 minute or something cut that's like,
Wow.
yeah, like a long one. So I've seen both, but I prefer the shorter one actually. But the long one's fun for, if you got a whole afternoon. The Sheriff from Killer Clowns. There you go. That's another classic.
Oh well, even what's his name? John Saxon in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, he's a cop. I don't know. Is he officially a sheriff? Are we going to split hairs on that one? I don't know.
I thought he was a sheriff, and then
I
he
don't
was
know.
he a cop? I thought he. I mean, his stuff looked like a sheriff outfit. I mean, there's also what's his name? Emmett from 30 Days a Night.
Oh yeah,
What's
yeah,
his name?
yeah.
Josh Hartnett.
Josh
I love
Hartnett.
that movie
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. That's not a bad one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of others. Ones will come to me. Ron Perlman was in Desperation. Yeah, I was going to say. I think he was a Texas Ranger. Okay, so you see, this is what I mean. We're going to have to split hairs over the official designation between sheriff and all this.
There's
Let's
only
see
one
here,
Texas Ranger, and
and
that's
that's Walker. Uh-huh. Lamonia says she loves the sheriff from Killer Clowns. Yeah, I like him because he's like a grouchy old coot. Like, he's fun. If we can pick non-horror, I'm getting a DeLorean, a Mad Max Interceptor, a Jurassic Park Jeep, Keaton's Batmobile, and an Ecto-1. I like the Jurassic Park Jeep. That's a fun one to mix in there. I would obviously have the Keaton's Batmobile too.
Yeah, that one would be my top pick. Is that Keaton's Batmobile? I love that. That's still my favorite Batmobile.
From all accounts, anybody who's ever had a DeLorean or driven a DeLorean says they're pretty much garbage unless you like have them redone and have everything replaced. Like the actual working ones from the 80s all sucked. So the
Mhm.
people who have them now and they're driving around have either swapped motors or something like that. Lamonia, yes. Drive Angry is wicked sharp. Nice. Drive Angry is a fun film. I love Drive Angry. So Drive Angry Appreciation is broken out. Nice.
Nice.
Matt Damon from Phantoms, yo. There's a sheriff, and he did work in a Jay and Silent Bob reference. Nice. You were the bomb in Phantoms. Creepiest cats in horror films. Oh boy, there's a ton. I mean, obviously, Church from Pet Cemetery has got to be the king of the hill, right? If we had a battle off, Church would probably win. I don't know who else you got.
Well, I don't know, man. That cat from Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. The one that
Oh
comes out
yeah,
of
the
like that
cat.
dude's mouth.
Yeah,
The guy
yeah,
from
that's a pretty classic.
New York Dolls.
Yeah, Buster Poindexter.
Yeah, it still trips me out,
David
man.
Johansen.
It
Yeah,
still trips me out that it's
David
that guy.
Johansen.
The
Yeah,
feeling hot,
he's
hot,
a
hot.
yeah. How you feeling, everybody? And what else before we move on to the next question? Creepiest cat. See, the thing is, cats in horror movies are so prevalent because they're great for jump scares. You know, you can introduce a cat in like the first act, and then later on somebody hears a noise in a closet, and they open, a cat jumps out. So plenty of horror movies have cats.
Well, the pyramid, that's another one, the zombie cats.
That one had some. That was some pretty crazy cats. Yeah, those weird Egyptian ones, the old classics. All right, pop quiz, hot shots. Best mid-coitus shootout scene: drive angry or shoot 'em up? Ooh,
Shoot 'em up.
so in the shoot 'em up, yeah. I'm trying to think of how many times I've seen somebody have sex and be in a fight or a gunfight. Well, I guess in Desperado, they're officially not having sex. She's just like singing, and he's like taking the
Yeah, it's
guns
like
and following
it's
the people.
afterwards. Because I was
Yeah,
thinking
so it's like
Desperado,
post-coital.
Desperado B, but yeah. I would
Yeah.
say, well, for one, I
Drive
have to go
angry.
with Shoot 'em up because I haven't seen Drive Angry, but Shoot 'em up, I
That,
mean, that
yeah.
movie, Clive Owen's another one of my favorite actors that, you know, I feel like he's no longer around too much, but Shoot 'em up, I love that movie. It's so off the wall crazy. It's like it's contender for me with High Voltage or with Crank, sorry. Not the second one, but the first one. The first Crank is also really good.
Yeah.
I feel like those are on the same
Yeah.
level of like madness.
Yeah. Balls to the wall. Yeah. Crank jumped to mind immediately with having sex well, basically that was to save his life kind of thing. No such thing as a creepy cat. Jinzo is defending the cats. Exactly.
Exactly.
Sheriff Harry Truman from Twin Peaks. So there you go. Nice. Dan's Cat and the Reanimator. That one's a classic. Drive Angry wins that, Professor. Oh, so we got a disagreement. We got Drive Angry, Shoot 'em up. Yeah, I'm going to Shoot 'em up mainly because I haven't seen Drive Angry all the way through. But I think Harris plays the same character in Needful Things as Michael Rooker in The Dark Half. Maybe. Hey, well, that's that would make sense for King, and King often reuses locations and characters and stuff. I think Harris. I wonder if that's the same sheriff that's in the Tom Skerritt character from Dead Zone, because he's the sheriff that goes. Because I think that's but he doesn't have much to do. He's just sort of there to get Johnny into the whole solving crime stuff. Nice, Professor. Good choices. Yeah, I agree. There's someone in my town that drives around in a Jurassic Park Jeep. Pretty cool. Rawr. Awesome.
Nice.
Non-horror car, the Charger and Bullet. Okay, yeah, so that's a classic good one. Timothy Oliphant in the Crazies remake. That's one I was thinking of that I couldn't remember. As an expert at playing sheriffs, be it Deadwood, Mandalorian, and Justified. Yeah, Oliphant is good at that. The Crazies remake, yeah, he does a fine job with that.
I was actually surprised I liked that movie.
Yeah, me too. The first time I saw it, I was actually indifferent on it. Then upon the second and third viewing, I actually kind of love the remake of the Crazies. That's one that's when it's on cable or TV, I'm like, ooh, Crazy's on again. I'll stop and just watch it from wherever. It's a fun flick.
Well, I feel like it kind of rode the coattails of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, because it was like
totally.
Dawn of the Dead did well. So I feel like, okay, now we're going to do another Romero property. And then that one came out shortly. I think it was like a year or 2 years after that. I was like, wow, they're just like slinging them out. That's kind of cool. But I feel like they stopped after that. But I don't think the Crazies did as well as Dawn of the Dead did.
Well, they made a Day of the Dead remake with Mina Suvari, and you seen it? Or is that just a look at disgust? Yeah, it is. It's awful. So that's what but as you bring up about it being like the Dawn of the Dead remake, that's something I often tell people they have to consider. Movies aren't just made for an audience. They're made by people wanting to make money. So you always have to figure out as a product, is this a thing that someone would invest in? So that's when I compared like Laid to Rest to Saw, because you can be the Laid to Rest people and go in and say like, all right, Saw made a bunch of money. We want to make a movie like Saw. And they're like, okay, do it. But if you're like, I have this new out of the box idea, people are like, yeah, I'm not giving you any money for that. We have no idea that's going to work.
Yeah.
The Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers, and that freaky bastard ain't even a horror movie. Yeah, that cat is scary. Cat from Scary Movie 4. There you go. The Pyramid. Good call. Yeah, Pyramid's a weird one that a lot of people have seen. I told Larry about it, and he decided to watch it on a whim, and he's like, yeah, it is interesting and strange.
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of any creepy cats. I love all cats, even the creepy ones. Doesn't a cat spit up another cat in The Uninvited? Oh yeah, The Uninvited Cat. That's a classic horror one.
Yeah, but it's
You and
like I think go ahead, man.
well, I was going to say, you and Matt Pugwall 316. You guys did a watch along of The Uninvited, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I hadn't watched it in so long, and yeah, it's just it's not creepy. It's like so ridiculous the way it looks. I mean, it almost looks
yeah.
like I think I said it on the stream, and I've said it before. It's like it looks like almost like the same Hobgoblin puppet that they used in Hobgoblins. I mean, it is Braden Clark, so I mean, I don't know. I don't
Yeah, I
call
don't
it
know.
creepy. I found it hilarious. I thought it was really a fun movie.
Yeah, The Uninvited is a wild one. What about the sheriff or She's the Sheriff with Suzanne Summers? That's a famous sheriff, but I don't know if it counts as horror. But I'm pro Suzanne Summers. I agree. I love them all, even the swamp kitties. Did anyone say Dewey? Well, so there you go. That's a pretty good one. David Arquette and Scream. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, not a fan of Scream, so
I guess he's technically a deputy, so we can split hairs once again. Cleavon Little and Blazing Saddles. Now that's a sheriff. Excuse me while I whip this out. When are we going to get a Monkey Shines remake? You know what? Never mind. The monkey would probably be CGI. Yeah, it would be a bad monkey. I don't know. I don't think Monkey Shines. Bad monkey. I don't think they would ever remake Monkey Shines. I think that's one that's safe.
Yeah,
because it didn't make enough money at the time, and the cult following for it is so small. I wonder if they would ever do such a thing.
I'm still waiting for a Deadly Friend remake.
BB, just for the basketball scene. What was one of your favorite zombie kills scenes where the zombie is one doing the kill? So basically, what's one of my favorite times where the zombies attacked somebody? That's a toughie. What was your favorite zombie kill scenes where the zombie is the one doing the kill? The little girl in the Dawn of the Dead remake is a fun zombie kill where they're like, "Why is the neighbor girl in our house?" And then she's like, all extra fast and crazy all of a sudden. I don't know. What you got a favorite zombie kill?
I have two.
Oh, you go ahead and lay them on me.
So I have two because it's hard to choose. It depends on my mood, but even though I love Dawn of the Dead, the original, like it's like tops. The one where they're like tearing the dude open and taking all the guts out, in the mall at the end. That one I like that one. But the one that I go back and forth with is in Day of the Dead, when the dude's like yelling and they're like they rip and you just hear his vocals just like get real screechy as they're tearing him open. And you see the eye, like, they're tearing it. I mean, it's just like that scene too. I'm just like, oh man. And then plus you got that other scene where like they're tearing up what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name in Day of the Dead, where he's like, choke on him, choke on him, choke on him. That part too is just hilarious because he gets it, man. He deserves what he gets. And but those are my favorites. I love those. Those are like, they always get me every time. I'm like, man, that's so cool. Yeah, choke on him.
Yeah.
But that's me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I was trying to think. Like, I keep coming up with like memorable kills I remembered from the Walking Dead show. Like, and then there was the time that they were trapped in the rotating door, the revolving door, and then there was the scene where So I'm actual movie ones. I'm kind of muddled on right now. I'm drawing a blank on ones that are my favorites. Hot take: Dawn of the Dead, Crazies, and The Hills Have Eyes remakes are fairly solid. Yeah, I do agree that all three of those are good remakes. I'm real hard on horror remakes. There's a handful of them that are really good, and then there's a bunch of them that are really bad. So it comes and goes. I think in general, horror reboots get a bad name, but all those ones you named right there are classic examples of times it's worked well. But never, ever, ever watch the Cabin Fever remake, ever. The creepy decoy cat in the Alien ripoff anime Lily Cat. I've never seen Lily Cat. You ever seen Lily
Hmm.
Cat?
Mm.
Sounds like an exotic dancer. Coming to the main stage is Lily Cat. Best opening kill scene, either from Urban's Legend or Ghost Ship. The Ghost Ship one's pretty darn good with the rope. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
don't know
wire.
that. I don't know if I remember the beginning one in Urban Legend.
It's been a while
Do
since
you
I've
know?
seen that one.
Yeah, me too. Um, and then I remember, for some reason, I remember Urban Legend Bloody Mary more than I remember Urban Legend.
Well, I'm sure they
Dewey
played
becomes a
that one like
kid.
all the time.
Oh, see, that's the thing. She's talking about Futuron and Futuron and the Scream franchise. So yeah, he becomes okay. Sheriff Lobo with Claude Atkins. There you go. Return of the Living Dead. Said more cops.
That one, my buddy always my buddy always cracks up to that one. Like he's always like he'll send me like a video clip of it. Send more cops, and then they all come out and all the like they all come running out and grab all the cops. It's like that part's funny.
Jinzo says the Ghost Ship has a classic opening. Yeah, that's what I mean. That movie I barely remember much of, but that opening scene I remember very much. Two Boys to Eye Gouge, Splinter Kill, and Zombie Flesh Eaters. So there you go. He's going deep cut. Oh yeah, choke on him. You know. Ooh, I have to check out that Trash Picture Show. I'm running this Monkey Farm Frankenstein. Jinzo, Sheriff Buford, nice. Oh yeah, Buford T. Pusser from Jackie Gleason from Smokey and the Bandit was his favorite sheriff. All right. Well, I see that we're about 10 minutes to 8. I think we should probably start wrapping it up. You got anything exciting coming up in the next week, Larry?
I got a couple. I have a haul video that I'm gonna be releasing on hopefully on Wednesday, and then Friday another figure review, obviously. And I think that's pretty much it. Unless like I said, I might do the stream tomorrow if I can. If I can't, well, I mean, still definitely check out the TerrorVision stream with Matt and JT. So we'll see. Maybe I will. If I do, I'll put in the community tab and stuff. But what about you?
Well, next week I'll be on Into House with you at your channel. Also, like I say, I'm planning to do Pet Cemetery either tonight or tomorrow, depending on internet service. So that's been a plan. For some reason, I've just been in the mood to watch Gage lately, and I still have Near Dark on deck. So those two are becoming anytime. Jamie Hart says that the urban legend is the man in the back seat. Is that the one where the old classic urban legend story with the guy? Yeah, gotcha. I barely remember it though. I may need to watch it. Yeah, I think I need to watch that one again. How are you, Jamie Hart? Did you have a great birthday? So sure, it's checking out for Jamie. Yes, I did. Thank you. That's nice. I like when people are friendly to another. Yeah, so that's mainly what's going on. The next week or two, I'll be bouncing around. Well, maybe even for the next month or so, I'll be kind of all over the place. So you may see my background changing, and hopefully, I'll be able to sneak some live streams in and get some other videos out. But mainly, I'm just going to be enjoying my other friends on YouTube streams. The Hobbs Horror every Tuesday, or I'm sorry, Boneyard every Tuesday with Mr. Bones, and then Hobbs Horror's Midnight Hour on Thursday. So I've been hanging out with those fellas and doing that thing. Tonight, after our show later tonight, I believe Limonia Demonia will be doing Jaws. That was the discussion. So if you're a fan of Jaws, who isn't? It's a great time of year. It's a very Jawsy time of year. So I will probably be floating around that stream tonight for sure in the chat at some point. But yeah, other than that, I'm really just sort of looking forward to what about Father's Day? You got any big plans for Father's Day?
Well, like I said, hopefully I'll get to see Furiosa tomorrow, and then just go and eat on Sunday. It's going to be the plan as of now. Hopefully, get to see Furiosa tomorrow, and and try to get ready for the week, man. It's going to be a crazy one. So.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up, be sure to leave in the chat or the comments. What's your favorite Father's Day type movie or horror movie? I think most people think Stepfather, right?
Yeah.
Who am I here? I think that's the key. We'll be jazzing tonight. Okay, so she will be jazzing. Speaking of good fathers, I always find Sheriff Brody to be a fine father. Um, Eric says the best way to spend a Friday evening is always in the house with friends. We thank you, Eric. You are an awesome dude to have around, man. It's I'm glad I met you on here. You're a nice man, and I appreciate you and your questions and keeping the chat alive.
I tell you,
Charlotte,
man, we got to have him on the show at some point. We got to see if it
yeah,
works out with schedules, so we can spit fire
actually, I was
questions
thinking
live with us. You know, it's like,
yeah. He's on my definite want list of people who need to come up here and talk with us. So yeah, Eric, we may have to get together with you on that real soon here. Shark. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies. Oh, from Lamonia, sure. She knows a daddy when she sees one. Awesome stream, gentlemen. Hope you and everyone in the chat has an amazing weekend. I thank you, Professor. You are the man. We always enjoy having you, and we may have to be in touch with you also about a Night of the Living zombie boob zombies.
And to have him on the show, man, as well.
Yeah, well, I believe Professor, you at work right now? I think he's usually watching us from work this time of night.
Yeah,
and Eric's down for hanging out. All right, Eric, good. I'm glad. We'll make that happen. But otherwise, I encourage everyone out there to have a great weekend. I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy the weather. And even though it's summertime, I hope you have a great spring season. All right. Take care, all. Nice to see you. Be well. See you next week on Larry's channel.